see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. Never stop, you never stop working. Never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, never stop working. Never stop, never stop working. You make a miracle working, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are way maker, miracle working, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
Hey everyone, it is so great to be with you again. I love getting to spend my Sunday mornings with you. Now, last week I did make a request of everyone who is returning and watching again or just have been watching for a while. I'm going to ask you parents to share Kids Church. That might mean hitting the share button. That might mean texting a friend, asking them to watch with you guys. All right? So this is a amazing way, super easy way to invite a friend to church. All right? Now, if you're that friend that got invited and you're new or you're just stumbling across our video, it's good to see you. I'm glad that you found us. I'm just so excited that you're with us. And if you are one of those new people, we want to connect with you. We want to know who you are. We want to know how you're doing, how we can pray for you, if there's anything that we can do for you. Whether that's mom, dad, or kid, or whatever. We want to be for you kids and you parents and you families. All right, so a way that you can connect with us is by tapping the link to the connection card, or you can email me at luke@fccnp.org, or you can go to our website, fccnp.org, and tap the connect button and fill out that form, and we would love to connect with you. All right, so if you kids watching this need to get some movement, right? We are inside for a long time. I get it. If you need to get some movement out, have a break, have some fun, just connect with friends, other kids that are grade age, check out Blast. On Wednesday nights at 6, we get together over Zoom, and I send that out in an email. So if you need that Zoom link, email me, or you can fill out that connection card and say in the notes, hey, I need a Zoom link for my kid, and I will send that to you. All right, so that is, if you want to do Blast, that's Wednesday at 6. All right, so over the last several weeks, we have talked about a bunch of different prophets. Now, a prophet in the Bible is someone who God talked to, and they would then talk to the people. All right, so we've talked about guys like Elijah, Elisha, Jonah, and that big whale or fish, Hosea, Isaiah, Jeremiah, this guy named Habakkuk, which it's like a super short book of the Bible, only 3 chapters, but I really encourage you guys to read that with moms and dads. It talks a lot about stuff that really applies to like right now. All right, so this guy named Daniel, we've talked about him. Maybe you've heard of the Lion's Den. This other guy, Obadiah, all right, we've talked about a lot of different prophets. So today we're going to talk about this prophet named Zechariah. And God sent Zechariah and this other guy named Haggai to encourage God's people as they rebuilt the temple. Zechariah was faithful to tell God's people that God was going to help them and send them a king for forever. And it ended up being Jesus, right? He was the king that was coming. And he is the perfect king, and he's the perfect prophet. He's the one who told us everything from God perfectly. Jesus perfectly reveals God the Father and fulfills what the other prophets spoke about. All right, so check out our Bible story video about the prophet Zechariah.
When God's people stopped rebuilding God's temple, God sent prophets to give his people a message. Zechariah was one of the prophets who told the people what God said. This was God's message: return to me and I will return to you. God reminded the people about their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. The prophets told them to stop sinning, but they did not listen. So God had punished the people for their sin. Don't be like them, God said. One night, God gave Zechariah some messages through visions. Zechariah saw 8 visions. Each was a different message from God about something that was going to happen. In the first vision, Zechariah saw a man riding on a red horse. Behind him were other horses. They had been patrolling the earth. Everything was calm and quiet, but soon the Lord would punish his enemies. The Lord's house would be rebuilt, and his cities would be blessed again. In the second vision, Zechariah saw 4 horns. These stood for Israel's enemies. Zechariah also saw 4 craftsmen who would defeat those enemies. Next, Zechariah saw a man going out to measure Jerusalem. But the city could not be measured because it was too big for walls. Instead, the Lord would be a wall of fire around it. In the 5th vision, Zechariah saw a solid gold lampstand, which showed how all the Lord's plans would happen because of his Spirit. Then Zechariah saw a flying scroll, which was a curse on everyone who disobeyed God. In the 7th vision, a woman sat inside a basket. She represented the wickedness of those who worship false gods. She was lifted up and taken back to Babylon. In the 8th vision, Zechariah saw 4 chariots, like the horses of the first vision. They would patrol the earth. God told Zechariah to collect silver and gold from the people. Use the gold and silver to make crowns, he said, and place them on the head of Joshua, the high priest. Joshua's crowns meant that a special king was coming to bring peace for everyone. Look, your king is coming to you. He is righteous and victorious, humble and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey, Zechariah said. God promised to bless his people and punish the rest of the nations for their sin. One day, everyone will worship the Lord. God was going to help his people and give them a different kind of king. Jesus is the king who came and rode humbly on a donkey, just as Zechariah said. Because Zechariah's prophecy came true in Jesus, we can have hope and forgiveness of sins when we trust in Jesus.
Zechariah had great news to share. The Messiah was coming to God's people. And that's not all Zechariah had to share. He also had some other kind of crazy visions and added hope to God's people, right? He talked about the horsemen, and those kind of meant that the Lord was going to punish his enemies, and the Lord's house would be rebuilt, and his cities would be blessed again. He talked about these 4 horns and craftsmen, and that kind of just summed up to mean that Israel's enemies would be defeated. There was a man with a measuring tape. God would be a wall of protection around Jerusalem. Joshua, the high priest, was another thing that Zechariah saw, and that was kind of meaning that God's people would rebuild the temple, and God would remove their guilt. There was this gold lampstand, and all of the Lord's plans would happen because of his Spirit. There was a flying scroll. I don't know what that would have looked like. Crazy. But there would be a curse on everyone who disobeyed God. There was a woman in a basket. Those who worshipped false gods would be taken away. Then there were 4 chariots, right? God's anger and wrath would be calmed. So God's message didn't end with the visions, right? God told Zechariah to gather silver and gold and make a crown for Joshua. This crown would represent the king, that King Jesus was coming. And this was an important prophecy for God's people. Zechariah said that the Messiah is coming. So the bottom line here, you guys, is that God was going to help his people and give them a different kind of king. Jesus is the king who came and rode humbly on a donkey, just as Zechariah said he would. Because Zechariah's prophecy came true in Jesus, we can have hope and forgiveness of sins when we trust in Jesus. So God's plan all along was to bring Jesus into the world to rescue sinners. Zechariah said that the Messiah is coming, and God planned for Jesus to reign forever. And you know what? One day, Jesus is coming back again, and those who believe in him are going to live with him forever. Jesus is worthy of our praise. So that's a future that I can hope for. That's a pretty awesome future for us. That's something that we can look forward to. That's something that it's not going to change. No matter what happens in the world around us, tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in a year. So we can read our key passage and know what God's plan is. So we're going to say that key passage together. All right? So I'll read it, I'll pause, and then you say it again with me, all right? So, I know the plans I have for you. This is the Lord's declaration. Plans for your well-being, not for disaster. To give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. All right, we're going to say it one more time, all right? I know the plans I have for you. This is the Lord's declaration. Plans for your well-being, not for disaster. To give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. That future and hope is what I'm looking forward to. Let's go to game time.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So I found 2 helpers. We're apparently making weird noises with our mouth. Okay. So we are here for games. So, hey Carson, we're gonna play our game now, okay? Okay. So we need to have our quiet mouth. Okay. So for our game today,
Stop it. If you guys allow it along, this is gonna be hilarious.
this has been 50 seconds of just insanity.
Now let's get back on to
Okay,
our game.
back to the game. So, you guys, we are gonna play a game. It's called the categories game. So I'm gonna say a category, and then we're gonna have about 30 seconds to name as many items in that category as we possibly can. All right?
Okay.
So we'll do a couple examples. You guys play at home, and you can make up your own categories. You don't have to use ours. These are just ones that I thought would be good. So our first one. Are you ready, Parker? Mm-hmm. Are you ready, Carson?
Can I go first?
Sure. So our first category is going to be
No, me?
farm animals. Parker? Go.
Woof woof. A horse.
Carson,
woof.
can you think of a farm animal?
Chicken.
I think of a cow.
I think of a sheep. I think of poop. Sorry, Daddy.
Carson, what do you think of?
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh, so a chicken? Nice.
Chicken. Gobble gobble.
Parker, I think of
Gobble gobble.
a goose.
A goosey.
What do you think, Parker?
A
Time. Good try. All right. So we could still think of a few more. All right. So here's another one. Are you ready? Colors. Carson, what's a color? Go.
my favorite color is green and red and blue.
Just give me one.
No.
Okay. Well, green and red and blue. Parker, what's color?
Red.
Okay. Yellow. Carson.
Just those colors.
Oh, can you think of another color?
Blue.
Okay. Can you think of another color, Parker?
Green.
Orange.
Blue and green and red.
Wow. You just keep going back to the same colors, man. All right, cool. Purple. Bless you. Time. Oh, he got it in there. Nice. All right, so obviously you can see we are not the fastest at this game, but you guys can see if you can beat our record of like, what was that, like 6 colors? Because Carson just kept saying the same one over and over.
Yeah.
Oh well. So,
Whoa. Green,
all right,
blue,
here's our
red,
last
red.
one.
Red,
You
red.
ready? You ready? Here's our last category for today.
It's
Things that are gonna happen in the future,
what does future mean?
like later. Things that are gonna happen later. What's gonna happen later, Parker?
We're gonna have a picnic in this room because our TV's over there because we had movie night.
But do you know if that's gonna happen?
Yes.
Are you sure that's gonna happen?
Yes, because that's
But
what
what
you
if-
told us in the toy room while we're cleaning up.
Oh, so we're planning on it, but do we know that that's gonna happen?
Yes.
We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen in 5 minutes. Just like our Bible story today. No one quite understood exactly what Zechariah's dreams meant, but it was all ended up for God's plan for the people of Israel. It's pretty cool stuff. So you guys, that question of what's going to happen in the future, we don't know. We can take a pretty good guess at what's going to happen, but we don't know for sure. Well, show them. Show them. Show them. Whoa, fish face. There it is. So you guys do some category games. Set that timer for 30 seconds and see how many you can get. We are going to move along to craft time. See you there.
All right.
Hey everyone.
Hey, everyone.
So,
It's like you just saw us like 4 seconds ago.
Stinky marker.
Ooh. Carson's got his stinky marker.
I can swallow from all the way
Oh my
away.
goodness gracious. All right, so for craft time today, you guys, you're going to need a piece of paper. We happen to have pink paper. You don't have to have pink paper.
And
And maybe a marker, crayons, colored pencils, regular pencils, whatever works.
maybe brown.
Maybe
Papa
brown.
has.
I've got red marker. He's got brown marker. He's got gray marker.
Well, we can share colors.
And we can most definitely share colors. It's always a good thing to share. So today, you guys, what we're gonna do, since we talked all about dreams and stuff going on
in the
crazy
future.
while you're sleeping,
In future.
stuff in the future,
Oh, you're on
is
the couch.
I want you to think of a time when
Oh,
you. Yep, we were right over there on the couch. You're right.
On the couch.
I want you to think of a time when you had a
Hello.
dream.
Hello.
I want you to draw that dream.
And
The craziest one you can think of.
uh,
All right.
okay, I'll
Okay.
think of that.
You think of it.
Me too.
So, like for me, I remember a dream where I was crawling along my parents' hallway and I peeked into my bedroom and there was a giant T-Rex in there just hanging out.
An actual T-Rex.
An actual T-Rex. That was my dream. And then I just remember being real scared, and I had to climb over the door frame so that the T-Rex didn't see me.
What was the door frame? What door frame?
The door, I don't know. I had to climb over it. That was my dream. So that's what I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw
T-Rex.
the T-Rex. Yep. So I'm going to draw the big head. Big head, little arms.
With eyes.
And he's got sharp teeth.
Did he actually got sharp teeth? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I little baby, I say wah wah wah. Okay,
There's my
wah.
dinosaur. Not the best T-Rex, but you know, that's what I got. Let's see, we'll give him some little arms.
My crazy dream was that I was playing on my tablet and I was in my tablet.
Whoa, you fell into your tablet?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
That was the craziest dream in my life.
The craziest dream of his life. So, the important
Mommy,
thing, guys,
that's
remember,
me.
is that
That's
God
me.
has a plan. He's going to carry it out. And
Me.
he loves us.
That's
He
me,
cares
guys.
about us. He is going to, you know, take care of us. He's going to have that plan for our benefit,
Buddy.
for our good.
For mine, mommy.
And even though it may not be what we want or how we think the plan should be, we can trust God that he loves us. So, you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock for Daily Devos.
Mommy, Big Betty.
And we'll see you later.